All right, so my good family, before we get started with today's video is all about head-turning fragrances, right? And I always like to do these PSAs before we get into the fragrances, just to keep it out there, keep it in front for sure. Fragrances cannot help accomplish anything if certain steps are not taken. So fellas, you gotta be groomed well, you gotta dress well. You have to have the mindset of putting your best foot forward, and that's going to be visible with any room that you walk in, no matter the situation. It could be a business opportunity, it could be a social event, it could be a first date, it could be a 63rd date, it could be any type of situation with how you present yourself. That's how people are going to receive you. And fragrances is kind of like that final touch, like that final coat of wax on that freshly washed and armor down car inside and out. Tires are blam and just a beautiful sight. That coat of wax just helps it stand out. And a head-turning fragrance is a part of the ensemble. It's a part of the wardrobe. So you can't walk out the house looking any kind of way and having on a spectacular fragrance. If you're looking for something with that, you're probably going to not be successful there. So put your best foot forward, no matter the situation. When you set foot out of your home and you're going out into the world, be the best version of yourself. Put forth that effort and just watch how life starts to maneuver. All right. So just a little PSA. I know nothing. I just know a little bit. All right. Let's just say life has taught me some things. All right, let's get started with today's video. YouTube, what's going on, YouTube? What is going on? What is happening, man? Of course, it's your guy one more time, DEDRICKHICKSJR, and I'm back with another fragrance video. So my good family, hopefully everyone is doing well, doing great, doing fantastic. And as always, man, it's positive energy, it's positive vibes, and most importantly, it is positive vibes only. All right, so my good family, we are here to discuss some head-turning fragrances, man. All 7 of these that we're talking about today, they are absolutely outstanding. And with, when pairing them with, the way that you are presenting yourself, it could be a very successful combo. I have had some experiences with some of these fragrances where they're head turners, they're conversation starters, they're compliment getters. And just where I am in my own personal fragrance journey, I am looking for profiles like this, not necessarily to turn heads or get compliments, but it starts with me first. I want to have that sense of, wow, man, I'm really vibing with what I got going on. And as I present myself to the world each and every single day, that's just going to carry. That's just going to go along. And if conversations come with that, then great, So these 7 fragrances, they're bangers, man, in my personal opinion. Let's go ahead and get started. Up first, this is definitely a situation where I have been in where an head-turning compliment and conversation came with this. From the house of Omanluxury, we have Voyage. Voyage is so good, man. It is so good, and it's not like everything else out there. In the space of, where fragrance content is so saturated by the same stuff over and over again, fragrances like this really just keep the interest high in this hobby, at least for me. You get this beautiful, interesting blend of citruses, florals, ambergris, spices, and the ginger note here really ascends throughout the lifespan of this fragrance. Again, I don't have anything in my collection that smells like this. Not saying that there aren't things out there that rival it. I have no idea. But for me in my collection, this is something that stands alone. A unique vibe, but golly, man, I was in a committee meeting earlier in the year, and we had some out-of-town visitors, and one of the visitors from another facility at our facility stopped me as I was in passing while we were on break. He was like, bro, what is that you have? I said, man, that smells incredible. And he was somewhat of a frag head himself. We kind of talked fragrances for a little bit. became cool at the committee. He was out of Atlanta. But this is just one of those ones, man, where I was enjoying my own experience, and then be able to have a conversation was dope as well. But again, very interesting blend. Not like everything out there. Performance is outstanding, but head turning fragrances, especially in this fall season, this one is really going to do numbers, as I say, a double or triple double. From the house of Omanluxury, I would sample this. Sample. Do not blind buy this. My blind buy brethren, sample this. But I totally get it if you do blind buy it. From the house of Omanluxury, we have, in my opinion, the amazing Voyage. This stuff is outstanding. All right. Up next, a fairly new release that is on the way. All right. I've talked about this in the last couple of days. I've been testing it every day since. This is truly one of the very best fragrance experiences in 2025. From the house of Day 3 Fragrances, we have the amazing Midnight Raspberry. My goodness. This is sensational. This jammy raspberry stands out. There's this high quality experience here. The oud in here, it's like a sweet musk in here. Some nice spices, very rich, very bold, and just one of the best experiences of the year, and one of the best from the house, in my opinion. Now, I have not worn this out yet, but I'm just so captivated by this experience. I was moved to talk about it in this video. And as we get closer and closer, to these outings that I'll be doing during the fall and during the winter time, I'm very confident that this is going to turn heads, okay? Especially with the way that I am dressed, the way that I am groomed, the way that I'm presenting myself, articulating myself, no matter what I got going on. And for me, this is a night out scent for sure. Hanging out, going out, date night with the wife, hanging out with the fellas, at the cigar lounge, or going to a social event, something maybe if it's in the evening or the nighttime, birthday dinners and things like that. Yes, sir. I cannot wait for you guys to get your nose on this and see for yourself. But I truly believe there's going to be a high percentage chance that this is going to be a head turner for fall 2025. This stuff is incredible. And like I said, I've been spending time with it for the last 3 days or 4 days since I've gotten it. And it deserves more conversation. And I can't turn my own head to my own scent, or can I? But just like I said, just my connection with it is off the charts, man. So from the house of Day 3 Fragrances, this is definitely going to be a nice head turner for fall 2025. We have Midnight Raspberry. Outstanding work from Michael Paul and his team over at Day 3 Fragrances. Great work here. All right. Up next, this fragrance is the very best representation of one of my favorite DNAs in perfumery. And I am very glad to have this. Although it is redundant in my collection, this one gets a pass from me. From the house of Boadicea the Victorious, we have Night of Love. Night of Love from Boadicea the Victorious. This is the very best take on that Montebaco DNA. My goodness, man. This beautiful kind of juicy red berry entranceway to this fragrance. There's some florals here. There's a suede leather. It's more suede than leather to my nose. The blend is absolutely incredible. And this is another real life head turner. One of my good friends was retiring from our company, and I went to be there. I was invited to come to his send-off, and I was invited to be there. And as I was walking down the sidewalk, a couple other co-workers of mine, as I was walking up, it was like, yo, what is that? That smells incredible, bro. And again, having that conversation, and I know these guys, we talk fragrance, and most of the times when I'm, talking fragrance with people, like I've been talking fragrance with them, it's every once in a while it might be somebody who I just completely don't know that might decide to say something to me. But anyway, basically what I'm saying with this is This gives an opportunity for a head turning situation. All right. Of course, at work, we're, how we dress. I say it all the time here: button down, slacks, hard bottoms. The baldy's balding, the beard's conditioned and oiled up, and everything's good. And then we're smelling fantastic with fragrances like this. And for a head-turning conversation, this is something very versatile for really any time of year, but definitely during those fall days. Oh man, I know it's going to win. Wearing it to the office, or wearing it out to a luncheon, or wearing it out to an experience while the sun is still up. And I say you can't wear this in the evening, but for me, this is something. Well, I'm just energized by this particular DNA, and then smelling it from on this level from Boadicea. And not to say anything about the Ormond Jane, I still love them. I still have them, and I will be wearing them in different situations, admittedly. But this is the very best. So when I'm feeling my best, and I want that Montebaco DNA, we're gonna go with Night of Love. Definitely something that's head turning and outstanding. One of the more fantastic masculine DNAs that you can get your nose on, no doubt about it. Expensive, yes. Sample, please. But this is a must-have for me. I'm sorry, it just was. From the house of Boadicea, we have Night of Love. This stuff is fantastic. All right. Up next, man, this version of this particular DNA is outstanding, and it's so much more amped up than the original and the XXX version. And the XXXL version is, my goodness, a masculine representer. That's what this is. From the house of Zaharoff, we have Signature Royale XXXL. Take everything that you love about the original and the XXX and amp it up even more. This is a little bit more animalic. There's the woods and the spices and the cumin in here are amped up over that lavender and that brief moment of citrus sparkle in the original and in the XXX. This one here, steak dinner at a 5-star restaurant in the evening time, fine Italian establishment, somewhere where you're getting dressed, whether it's a date night, whether it's a family dinner, it doesn't matter. When the sun is down and you're wearing this in the fall and you're going to something, some type of event, you can dress this up. You can, be casual with this as well. It just depends on how you're going about it. But this is something where, full-blown masculinity is on full display here, and I think it's outstanding. This is one of the better DNAs or series from Zaharoff, in my opinion. And as you can see, that juice is that much darker here than the original Royale X and the XXX. So this stuff is outstanding, head turning for sure. If you're looking to keep that masculine demeanor and you're not trying to be playful or have a sweet fragrance or anything gourmandish, anything of that nature, you want to keep that masculine tone and masculine vibe, this is one to definitely look into. Now, admittedly, you can't go wrong with either of these, the original X, the XXX, or the XXL. But this is the most masculine approach to that DNA for sure. And this ain't gonna be for everybody. This is something that we were very lucky for George to release because I believe this was kind of like one of the lost samples or something like that. And he was just kind of like, why not? And I'm glad that he did. This stuff is fantastic. Head turning for fall, especially if you're looking for that masculine vibe. We have, from the house of Zaharoff, we have XXXL. Love it, man. Love the back of the bottle. Just great artistry here from Zaharoff, for sure. All right, up next, man, from the house of Argos, we have Perseus Triumphant. This was a wow moment for me earlier when I got this a couple of months ago. Very fresh rose leather oud here. In the opening, you kind of get this collision of this sparkling citrus and saffron here. The saffron really shines throughout this fragrance, in my opinion, but I absolutely love it. It's kind of like along the lines of like Night of Love and Voyage. I will wear this like during the day, wearing it to the office, or if it's a day off and me and the wife are going to get some breakfast or some brunch, maybe do a little shopping while the kids are in school, maybe see an afternoon movie or something, just kind of moving around until we got to pick the boys up during the fall time. Get a little bit more cozier in the fall. This definitely will meet that qualification. because it's not a heavier scent. And Argos has some bombs, and I know y'all know that. But this one right here it's fresh, but it definitely has its moments with the collision of the rose, leather, and the oud. But like I said, that saffron really sings a lot throughout this fragrance. You definitely get the appearances from that leather. Yeah, like it's kind of like that leather and that saffron really collide as it goes down into the dry down. The oud kind of peeks its head out a little bit, but it's not out of control or overbearing in any way, shape, or form. But this one definitely has the potential for be a head turning fragrance, because you do have that pop of rose, that's kind of floating around the leather, the saffron, the oud, and it stays all the way through. And this one has a sexiness to it. It also has a I don't want to call it fun, but I guess a chill type of energy to Perseus Triumphant. So really great fragrance. You know, Argos, they do it big every single time. If you're looking for head turning experiences, Argos has you covered in a lot of different ways, and this is an example of that. From the house of Argos, we have Perseus Triumphant, outstanding head turning option for fall 2025. This stuff is really good, man, for sure. All right, up next, man, I love this fragrance. This, if it was like only one fragrance on the thumbnail, and this probably made the thumbnail, this is like the representation of head turning. Like out of probably everything that we're talking about, the Midnight, I don't know, all of these, let me stop talking. This is one of those ones. From the house of Savoir Faire, we have Indicativa. Wow. Listen. The very best cannabis-based fragrance I've ever smelled, bro. I don't know what Chris Classic was on when he was putting this together, but he was on one for sure, and this is incredible stuff, bro. Man. The cannabis here doesn't get out of hand. It's blended very beautifully. This very masculine, sexy, mysterious, unique fragrance here could give the ultimate experience. You talk about head turning, man, what? Yes, this qualifies for head turning. The very first time that I smelled this in a sample form, shout out to my brother, the Bishop, Jared Miller. He sent me a sample of this, blown away. And I knew that I needed to add this to my collection, and I'm glad that I did just in time for the fall season look. Savoir Faire is phenomenal. I haven't smelled anything from the house that was not incredible. But if I had to make a recommendation for someone looking for something masculine and unique, man, look no further than this. And again, the cannabis in here don't smell like funky, outdated, cheap weed. It does not smell like that whatsoever. This is pure luxury in the bottle. And head turning, man, listen, during the fall and the winter, man, cigar lounges, social events, date nights, fellas, you got a date and you wearing this and you're put together from head to toe how you supposed to be, you gonna win, brother. Triple double. Triple double. Head turning for sure. From the house of Savoir Faire, excuse me, we have Indicativa. This stuff is outstanding. All right. And last but not least, this is probably the most underrated fragrance probably on the list. I would like to say that probably most of you watching have heard of probably everything that we've talked about thus far. But this one is so under the radar, it's criminal. This is outstanding. From the house of Plume Impressions, we have Elegance Cure. Man. Leather, juniper, woods. This is beautiful. Classy for a gentleman who understands the assignment. For me personally, this could be called upon for a couple of different situations, especially for those evening dinners out, for sure. Those evening dinners out during the fall, for sure. You're going to smell like you know what you're doing, you know where you're going, and you know where you've come from. You're established in your presentation of yourself, You handle your business on a day-to-day basis. You may drive a very nice car. You might have a very nice wardrobe. You just put together. That's the vibe that this gives off. Very mature, very sexy, very inviting. This is a beautiful fragrance. And again, like I said, the juniper, the woods, you get a touch of this kind of like ambery vanilla in here as well. This is underrated. Plume Impression is probably the most underrated house in the last year that I have experienced. They do phenomenal work. I probably have about 7 or 8 of their fragrances, and they all do something different, and they offer great quality and an excellent experience. The blends from Plume Impression are up there for sure. And as far as head turning during the fall season, maneuvering around, late evening, going into the night, or the late hours of the night, or the early hours of the morning, fellas, look, if you're looking for something that says, I'm established, this is one to look into, man. And the leather here is not out of hand. It's more of a suede feel to this fragrance, or a suede approach to this fragrance. The juniper is not out of hand. You don't get this kind of dry, ginny experience. You know, you get this very great blend of the suede, of the woods, of the juniper, and it just pops off as this just beautiful presentation. That's what you get here. Outstanding stuff, man. So for the late evenings, going into the night, late night and early mornings, class, sophistication, and establishment here, being established here is on full display. We're gonna have some Plume Impressions. We have Elegance Curé. I love this stuff, man. Cannot wait to wear it again. This stuff is fantastic. All right, so there you have it, guys. Those are 7 head-turning fragrances to look into for this current fall season, and even going into the winter, but we're gonna call it for fall because that's where we're in. And these fragrances are in full representation, especially if you come correct. You do what you got to do to present yourself at its highest form, wearing one of these fragrances, being groomed, being dressed well, carrying yourself well, articulating yourself well. Man, you're gonna win the game. You're gonna win the game. You're gonna get that double-double, that triple-double for sure. You're going to the playoffs. For sure, trust me. All right, so I love all these fragrances. I'm just looking at them. I love them. I'm very fortunate and grateful to have them, and very, very excited to continue to explore these and wear these and build experiences with them as we go through the fall and the winter months. All right, so hopefully y'all enjoyed today's video. Drop down below some of your guys' favorite head turning recommendations, and looking forward to reading them, man. Put me on to something, man. Put me on so I can see what's going on out here, if I need to add something to the collection, my sampling or whatever, you know. So as always, man, y'all keep it cool, y'all keep it safe. It's positive energy, it's positive vibes. All love, always. Love is way more effective than being a hater. Love is way more effective than being a hater. All right, so appreciate y'all again, man. Y'all know what it is. Splack it up, splack it out, splack that thing all around. And remember, what you put onto this world is exactly what you're going to get back. All right, appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all for the love and support. We'll see y'all on the next one. Peace, man. And of course, splack.